So I actually don't do clientele work. I am a
Oh,
teacher.
oh yeah.
I do acting on the side. So sometimes people will come to me because I can do many different accents.
Mm,
They say I sometimes sound like a cartoon character that they have in mind. And if I could
nice.
play that cartoon, mostly mom, which is hilarious. So they come to me to play the mom of a role. Um, or I just sound like that really chilled friend that wants to go with the flow. And so they're like, can you do this job for us?
Wow.
So, yeah, sure.
I envy that because I could never really somehow call myself a voice actor. I just do voiceovers. And as a matter of fact, every time that I heard the term, are you a voice actor? Because I don't deserve to be called a voice talent whatsoever. I didn't go to school for this. It's just that I did it, and some people somehow bought my product, and that's great. But I envy. I've never done voice acting, but voice acting is somehow being a voiceover too, right? Because you do voices.
In a way, yes.
Can you give me a sample, by the way? One of your accents?
One of my favorites is going to England, and a lot of people say I sound like I'm from Sussex or Essex. I can't really pinpoint where it is because I'm not from there. I've never been to England. I do plan on going at one point, but not anytime soon due to the pandemic and everything, you know. Got a baby, got a husband, can't get him out of the country because of visa issues. So, gotta figure that out soon.
Yo, that was
But
amazing.
would love to see the Queen of England, have a spot of tea with her.
That's amazing. You
I
know
guess
what?
I watched too much.
If I hear you, if we had a conversation and you had that accent, I wouldn't know the difference. Really? How did you learn to do that?
I don't really know.
Really, for real? You don't practice at all? Do you practice? Of course you practice,
No,
right? You don't.
no.
Oh, I envy you.
Okay, so being from Mississippi, I don't know if you know anything about culture in Mississippi
Mississippi.
or the states.
I heard
So
a
I'm
lot
from the
about it from Dave Chappelle that it's one of the most racist. No, no, yeah, it's I just
no, Alabama's more racist than we are, but no, northern states are more racist than southern
mm,
states, believe it or not. But Mississippi is called the Magnolia State,
mm-hmm,
and our state bird is the mockingbird.
mm,
And
okay.
so I like to make a little pun about it and say, yeah, I'm a mockingbird. I mock other people's accents. If I hear it,
Uh huh.
I can mock it out to you.
Wow, I think
So
that's a skill.
my husband's accent, he's Chinese.
Uh huh.
I can repeat it back.
Can you do a Chinese accent? The Chinglish.
Uh,
Yeah.
this is going to be more Cantonese because my husband's Cantonese.
Okay. Okay.
moi子,moi子, I love you. moi子. He's always yelling. He's always yelling.
Oh man, you sound like the real
moi子means
thing.
dog.
Especially when they go
Moi
when they
子
say
means dog.
McDonald's, McDonald's.
My husband's favorite word is Starbucks in English
And how do they say it?
because he doesn't say Starbucks. You
Starbucks.
want
Yes.
to go get some? 你喝 Starbucks.
Oh man, man, I miss China. Anyway, um, can you please do one more accent? Just one more, last one.
Okay, this is my favorite accent, and it's still in the same region.
Okay.
But I love a good Scottish accent. They swallow their R's, and they do a lot of bow hunting.
Oh
They wear a lot of
man,
kilts. And haggis, it's got to be yummy. Never tried it before.
you're so good. For real, you're so good. Oh man, I
I think it
envy
has to
you.
do with that I used to be in choir. I took singing lessons as a child, and so we had to learn different ways to form our mouths,
Okay.
which is kind of how you do accents too.
So that helped a lot.
So how old do you think I am? First,
Oh man, no, please don't ask me that because I'm bad with that.
it's okay. Just how old do you think I am?
To be honest with you, you're way younger than I am. I think you're in your 20s. Maybe you're
You
22.
would be.
You're
Ooh,
22.
good man. I- I'm 25.
I'm close because you look young.
You were
You look
very.
young, yeah.
Thank you. I do take care of my skin, and it's also Native American slash Mexican in there too, so we got
Oh,
good
okay.
genes.
Nice.
But I'm not that far out of college. And I studied Chinese history, ancient Chinese history in college. I'm a historian by trade.
Mhm.
And so my mentor, one of my closest confidants, someone that I trust the most with information about my life, came up to me and he said, "Hey, Casey, I have this amazing idea that will help you get experience, but you can also go and look at historical sites in China
Mhm.
while you're there." And I was like, "You want me to go to China?" And he goes, "Would you be down for that? I can get you hooked up with a contact." And so he sent me this contact, and I was like, "There's no way they're going to accept me for this job." It was through a company called Sea Dragon,
Okay.
and they interviewed me, and they said, "We want to have a callback interview with you because you seem fun." I was like, "Well, that's a first. No one ever thinks I'm
You
fun."
seem fun.
Yeah. And so I did a callback interview where I had to give an actual teaching lesson live in front of them. So we were kind of like Skyping like now, and I had to teach a class live in front of them.
Mhm.
And during that whole entire lesson, they were like, "Wow,
You're really good.
Halda,
Yeah.
she's amazing. She's enthusiastic. She has great demeanor. She's,
Yeah.
incorporating all of these elements. She's even singing to these people." I was teaching a class of about 16 Panamanians
Oh,
that were studying to be English teachers at the time.
how old were they?
And oh, they were a range of from like 20 to 45.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
was it was an adult range.
But when you did
Um
that, did
and
the
so
teaching skill come out naturally, or was it something that you prepared for? Like, okay, was it
oh,
something? Yeah.
it was it's natural. I don't
Mhm.
prepare teaching. I go in and wing it,
Yeah, yeah.
which is probably not the idea, but
No,
you
no,
know,
no. Some people are
it,
really good when it comes to teaching, you know? And those people
this,
that are really good
this
when it
is
comes
what
to teaching, when they plan something, like they plan a lesson, it's amazing. It's amazing, you know?
But so I finished and they were like, "We want to give you a visa to China." And I was
Damn.
like, "What? So you mean to tell me, little bitty southern little me that has no concept of a bigger outer world because I've never left my home state is going to China?"
And how old were you during this
And
time?
I was 22 when I learned I had the job,
Okay.
and I got to China when I was 23.
Oh, it took a year. Did you wait for it?
Yeah,
Did you thought about it
they wanted me to graduate from
first? Oh,
college, and I
okay.
graduated when I was 20.
Mhm.
So it was in December when I learned I had the job. My birthday's in March.
Mhm.
I got to China in August. So I had all of this time, and I had some things on a checklist that I had to check off. I had to go to the embassy, get some background checks, which my mother and my father both work for the United States government.
Mm.
I could totally lie on this. Just kidding. I do have to. Making sure baby does not swallow paper. So
Of course, yeah. Okay. And but the whole idea, because I don't know if you actually had my own experience, but before going to China, my friends told me, even my parents, my relatives and close friends told me, are you really going to China? Because we have a bad perception towards China and Chinese people. Although the Philippines has a lot of Chinese
Yeah.
people, but they're mostly half Chinese and half Filipinos. Most of the pure Chinese people here they actually run the drug cartel. They run prostitutions,
Uh,
gambling, and everything else. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Most of the Chinese people here that are here, living here, married to Filipinos, are mostly a holes. So I was like, okay, do I really want to go there? So the first visa that I got was good for 2 weeks, believe it or not. It was a visiting visa. Um, but I just told myself, I just need to try. I want to try. These people are nice to me anyway. And they told me just take a look at the place, take a look at how, the environment is, and if maybe you would like it. And we will pay you for 2 weeks. So I went there, I taught, and I was like, okay, it's not so bad. And then after 2 weeks, I swear to God, I just fell in love. Everything was so different compared to what I was told
mhm.
and how I see, you know, social media and hear stories from people. It's just different. Was it the same thing with you?
Yeah. So I don't know how much you know about the American-China conflict, the trade war with Trump and all that's going
Of
on,
course.
and
How can you miss that?
the
It's
politics.
everywhere. Yeah.
Even though I'm a historian, politics plays a big part in my study.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not my favorite subject. My favorite subject is the people. And so my mom, she was a little hesitant at first. She's my biggest supporter, bless that woman. She looked at me and she said, "You are the first generation to graduate from college.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first generation to do something with your life. You're the first generation that has not had a baby before they were 16. You are the first one to do a lot of things in this family. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll be damned if you are the first one to deny an opportunity like this.
Wow.
We're
Mm-hmm.
sending your little ass to China."
Wow, that's
And
nice.
so we raised the funds, and she sent me to China. And she said, "When you get there, do not think of it like America. Do not think of it the way that America has painted it, because it's a completely different concept.
Mm-hmm.
The media paints it the way they want you to see it.
Yeah.
You must see it and paint it the way you see it." And my mom was completely right.
Wow.
Because in
Yeah.
America, all we hear is China is bad, China is doing this, China is being difficult.
Exactly.
And I get here and no, they're not. They're trying to work with you. They want to work with you, but you're not meeting them in the middle.
Yeah.
And so I've been responding to friends over social media when they ask questions like, "Is this true in China?" No, completely false. The media that you are listening to is completely false. And so now a group of people in Mississippi go out and advocate because I give them the information.
Nice.
And they're
Nice.
like, "Well, what the China is disgusting. They're not actually that way." And then they ask about the virus and like, "Oh, can you walk around without masks?" Yes. We definitely can walk around without masks because guess what? The government here was strict enough to say, "Put a mask on and let's get this over with. Wash your nasty hands and stay home."
Yeah.
Whereas America, they're just all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I'm so
I would
glad.
say,
Yeah, I'm actually so glad that you're saying these things because a lot of people, I have met a lot of foreigners that are married in China, African Americans, even Russians. They're saying bad
yeah,
things about the country, but I don't understand because, they're my coworkers. I find it a little bit hard to ask the question, if you keep on complaining about the country, why are you still here? Obviously, there's a benefit that you're getting out from this country. It could be a job, you know, or
yeah,
whatever, because probably in your country you could never get paid with this kind of salary. Why not appreciate that? In everywhere you go, there's always going to be good and bad. A lot of people
oh yes,
yeah, a lot of people spend a lot of time going to YouTube watching conspiracy theories about a country, how the coronavirus has been planted. and where it originated and what is the plan of China, this and that. Every country has its own good and bad people, poor and rich, um, provinces and cities. So in China, I fell in love with the country. Not only the country, the people too. What's bad about it is because a lot of foreigners talk bad about Chinese people, but you would never hear Chinese people talk badly about them. It's like, oh, where are you from?
Yeah.
I'm from the Philippines. Okay, I know not everybody has a good impression towards the Philippines, but they keep that in them. They try to be careful with their words. So anyway,
Yeah.
thank you. And so fast forward, you went to China, you got your job, and how long was it when you told yourself, "Hey, I want to stay here"?
I think it was about 2 months in
Two
that I
months. Okay.
decided that I wanted to stay, at
Mm-hmm.
least until the end of my work contract. I wanted to stay until the end of my work contract and see it out. Yes, I was very homesick.
Uh
I
huh.
missed my mother's cooking. I missed my friends. I missed my social cues and everything. I missed YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I missed
You
all of the
can't
social
you can't do
medias.
YouTube in China with a VPN.
Yes, but as several of my friends call them, very pink nipples. You
What?
gotta be. Yeah, the synonymous word amongst moms is very pink nipples. You'll find that a lot of foreign moms are very obsessed with nipples. But good to see my contract out until the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, a lot of my contract was kind of cut out because of coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
So my first year abroad, I am stuck in a country that I don't speak the language. My whole entire life depends on getting paid this one little salary from this corporation, and it's not even a good salary. It's only like 2,000 RMB more than what a local makes. And
How much was it, if it's
I'm
okay to
not even,
ask?
I made 14,000 RMB.
Okay, for an American, that's
And
low, of course. And you're a native speaker too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so you can't touch that, baby. Don't touch that.
Hey, buddy.
And so the locals where I teach made 12,000 a month.
Yeah.
I made 14,000. So that's not a lot of money. And my rent was like 3,000, almost 4,000 RMB a month.
It should be free.
So that took a
Didn't you
lot.
ask? Did you bargain, to your company?
Part of my salary was the apartment accommodation.
Oh.
So 14,000 was my supplement for my housing.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
But then on top of COVID and everything, I got sick to the
Hmm.
point that I almost died.
Wow.
So now I'm thousands of miles away from home. I'm in a country that I do not speak the language. I am sick because I have an autoimmune disorder. Okay, calm down. There. I'm scared out of my mind. I don't know when I'm going to go back to work, and they're paying me 1,000 a month because I'm not working.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. She's hungry. Come on. Stop kicking me and drink. Parenthood, right?
Yeah.
But they took away 13,000 of my paycheck because I'm not doing my job, but I can't do my job because the school's closed down. So how am I supposed to do my job, you know? And I go into a very deep depression. And as someone with an autoimmune disorder, not feeding yourself these healthy foods is very detrimental. I have autotrophic autoimmune gastritis, which means my stomach doesn't make the gas to break down foods like
Mm-hmm.
normal people. So I have to eat a very fibrous and water-rich diet. And because of the depression, I didn't eat. I just drank water. I didn't feel like eating. I became a recluse. And from about January till about the middle of March of 2020
Mm-hmm.
was a very, very dark for me. I got sick the last day of February, and I went into hospital that day. And they didn't know what was wrong with me, and I kept telling them I have an autoimmune disorder. This is what we need to do. They would not listen to me because I'm a silly foreigner from a foreign country. I don't know my own body. You can still eat. I stayed a week in hospital, and
A
by the
week.
time my 24th, yes, by the time my 24th birthday came around,
Mm-hmm.
I was released from the hospital, but I was very, very weak,
I
extremely
can
weak.
imagine. Yeah.
I could barely I could barely lift the pan to actually cook me a healthy meal.
What?
Yeah. And this is where my now husband comes in.
Mm-hmm.
This is me. So a lot of people like, you're going to China, you're gonna meet a husband. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I did. I did meet a husband.
and really quick
Did
too.
not yet. We met at the end of March.
Yeah.
I got my strength back. We had been talking from about a week before my birthday
Mm-hmm.
to the end of March about getting my hair done because I just got out of the hospital. My hair is a mess.
You met him
It's
where? Was he a
matted.
nurse?
No, he's a hairstylist.
He's
He
a
was a mutual
hairstylist.
contact with a
Oh, okay.
yes.
Okay.
He was a mutual contact with a friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and she sent me his contact because I needed my hair done because my hair was disgusting. It was matted. I couldn't untangle it. I had been in a hospital bed for a week,
Without a bath
barely able.
for a week?
A nurse had to help me to the bathroom.
Okay.
Like they physically had to hold my
Mm-hmm.
arm and guide me to a bathroom because I was so weak. I had so many IVs hooked up to me to keep me hydrated and give me nutrients. That's how weak my body was. I had lost a ton of muscle mass. At the beginning of COVID, I weighed 114 kilograms,
Okay.
which is pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got to the hospital, I only weighed 86 kilograms.
What?
That's a substantial amount of weight lost
For a week?
for an illness. Yes,
Oh my god.
I lost a ton of weight in a very short amount of time.
I
So
would
my
love to
body
see a
was really
picture of
weak.
that. Did you take a picture of yourself?
I didn't have pictures.
Okay.
I slept most of the
Mm-hmm.
so I never took any pictures. Um, but me and this now hairstylist that
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
never met a day in my life at this point were conversing back and forth.
Yeah.
And I was like, you seem really cool. You seem really laid back. And then he sent me a picture of the cat that's currently living at our house. And I was like, you have a cat? I love cats. And
His
he goes, well,
English
why
is
don't you come
okay.
in on
He's able to converse with you.
he doesn't speak English.
You use an app.
Yeah,
We
we
did
use
that
a
too. Yeah.
translating app.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
he told me as a late birthday gift
Mm-hmm.
and a late, you know, get well gift, he was going to give me a free haircut.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at first, but he told me to come in at 3 o'clock on March 31st
Yeah.
and he would do my hair. So I went. I was a little skeptical. I was a little flustered because they kept asking for all of these apps and all of these apps were like in Chinese and I couldn't read them, I couldn't understand them. So I called my specialist. So I have a teacher specialist she was supposed to help me with everything. I was like, Lindsay, can you please help me figure this app out? I'm trying to get my hair done, but they're wanting this. And she goes, okay, you need to do this, put this, this, and this in, and you're good to go. So I did it, and I was like, oh,
Was
you're a
that WeChat?
lifesaver. It was on WeChat, yes.
Okay.
Uh, so I get into the building,
Hmm.
and the first thing he does is he looks at my hair and he goes, we need to get your hair washed. You need to wash your hair.
Coming from a
And
Chinese, that's a lot.
I was like, I've been trying to wash my hair, but it's so matted, I don't know what to do. And he goes, don't worry, we've got magical fingers. I was like, okay. So
I've
they
never
have
met
a
a
system.
male hairstylist in China. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Never. But anyway, yeah, never. It's mostly women. A male
No,
barber,
it's mostly
yeah.
men. It's mostly men
A male
in my
barber, yes, a
city.
male that cuts your hair, but a hairstylist is somebody who shampoos the hair, who does rebonding, straightening the hair, ironing the hair. That's a hairstylist. A barber is just a guy who cuts the hair. A hairstylist is a much more higher, like, right? Am I wrong, or are they the same?
I don't. Well, he mostly works on female hair. I would think that a
Okay.
barber would work on male hair. So a barber is more of a male term than
Oh,
a
okay.
hairstylist.
Okay.
At least in my mind, it splits it up into genders for some reason.
Hmm.
But I sat down in the chair,
Okay.
and this guy that no longer works there started to massage my scalp and
Hmm.
shampoo my hair.
Did he went,
Best friend
ew,
massage
so
my
gross? No.
No. He looked at me and he was like, white woman. And so he started to massage
That's
my
a big deal for them,
hair and my head. Yeah. It was a big deal for the studio because I was the first one of the first foreigners they've ever worked on.
Wait a second,
And
Casey.
so
Let me just ask you really, really quick. It's 2021. Chinese people are still like that. Every time
yeah,
that they see an African American or an American white person, why do they feel that way? It's like
it's it's because they're raised to think that foreigners are rich. Like, oh, we're
what
rich enough
for
to come to
real?
China and live here. Yes. They're
No,
also
they're wrong.
not used to seeing us. So, like, if they were born in a big city like Shenzhen or Guangzhou or Beijing, then yeah, maybe they might be a little used to foreigners.
Hmm.
But sometimes, especially the older generations, if they're coming from outside villages into these big cities and they see these foreigners, or we go to these little villages and they see us foreigners, and they're like, "Whoa, why Gorman? Let me."
Yeah,
And they're
like from the
snapping photos.
National Geographic Channel.
It's because there's probably a very high likely chance they will never see another foreigner again.
Because
Because
I thought of it that way when I was in Fushan. Fushan is it's part of Guangdong, but they're somehow rich. When I got to Shunda, which is actually very close to Macau, which has a lot of foreigners, most of the parents are not
yeah,
educated, but they're wealthy. They have businesses and they travel a lot,
yeah,
but still they have the same concept. One of my co-teachers who was an African American got fired because of the color of her skin. I just knew this because I was the one who replaced her. The assistant teacher told me, Marty, let me tell you something. You know what? The teacher that you replaced got fired because one dad complained, went to the principal and said, where does she come from? She's from South Africa. It's a poor country. She's black. She's dirty. That's the word that they used. It's very racist. But anyway, let's go back. Let's talk about
the
race later.
country,
Let's talk about
yeah,
that later.
racism is
Yeah.
it's scary for people like me.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, going
so I
back,
sit down in a
this Chinese woman, I mean this white woman coming in the salon, so everybody must be surprised. Did they take a picture of you secretly?
no,
Because that's what they do discreetly. Where's my
No, I
son?
was
Let me
one of the
talk to
only
this white person. Go, go,
I was
go.
one of the I was one of the only clients in the salon that day.
Okay.
And these guys, they're professional enough not to jeopardize their job or their reputation by taking photos
Mm-hmm.
against people's will. They'll ask you, hey, can I video your hairstyling process? And
Mm-hmm.
if it's okay with you. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Because they do post videos on
To
apps
advertise
like
themselves.
Douyin,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, to advertise themselves. Also, on their WeChat moments, they use it as an advertisement,
Mm-hmm.
like a place for advertisement, so that
Exactly.
other people,
Yeah.
new people, can see their work.
Yeah.
And he gets to work on my hair. And I like to call myself a ballsy person. I'm very, um, how adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
I
Same with
don't
me. Yeah.
care. So I had this long hair, like it was down to the middle of my back. And
uh,
my hair's super curly and super thick. He looked at me and he goes, okay, you said you had a picture of what you want. Can I
mm-hmm.
see it? And I show him this picture, and my hair is literally up to my chin.
Shin. Very short.
And
Uh-huh.
he looks at me and he goes, you sure?
Uh-huh.
I was like, yes, chop it,
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
get it all off. So he chops it off, and it's this cute little bob. He left a little bit of length past my chin, so it was probably right to here.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. And so I sectioned off a piece here, and then I sectioned off a piece here, and I pulled this part down and I said, can you shave this part?
What?
And so he holds up a thing of clippers and he goes, with it, you want me to zzz? And I said, yes, if you don't do it, I will. And
Oh
so he
man.
shave it, and then he looks at me and he goes, that was the most energetic thing I've ever seen in a woman.
Okay.
Most Chinese women, they're very particular about their hair.
Of course,
They're
yes.
like, it's got
You don't even
this
touch
way,
their
it's got to
hair.
be
No way.
not without permission, and they're
Yeah.
religious with their hairstyle.
Exactly.
Once they find the one they like, they go back and
There's a
forth with them.
uniform for their hair. It's like the
Yeah.
national hair for women in China. Yeah.
Um, and so he looked at me after that and he goes, that was very exciting. I've never been this excited about hair before. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, thank you. Thank you for the haircut. Thank you for the hairstyle. And he goes, you're really pretty. Can I take you out to dinner tonight?
What?
And I was like, what? And he goes, can I take you out to dinner tonight?
But of course, this
I
was
want
on a
to take
phone
you
app,
out to.
right?
Yeah, we're using a translation app back
Okay.
and forth at this
Mm.
point. And he goes, you can relax on our balcony, play with the cats if you want, order you some bubble tea if you want. And I was like, I can't have bubble tea. I'm lactose intolerant. And so I spend the next 4 hours chilling on the balcony
And
while he's cutting
what
hair.
made you say yes? What made you decide to stay?
I had a near death experience. I almost died because of my stomach
You're
issue.
just appreciative, just
And
like okay.
okay, I'm in China. I'm not going to be here that much longer.
Uh-huh.
Oh, why not? Let me go on a date with this guy. He
But
he
four
might be cool, you know?
hours. 4 hours
Yeah,
you
I
were
waited
sitting
4
there.
hours for
Yeah.
him. Yeah. My phone was almost dead when we went to dinner.
Okay.
And our very meal together was hot pot,
Nice.
which is
What
nice
was that
for
your first
someone
time
with
eating hot
stomach.
pot as well? Was that your first time?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, it was
My
my
first meal when I
as
got
well.
literally to China, landed, slept, went to dinner, was hot pot too. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, fun fact. My first meal when I first got to China was egg fried rice, and I ordered it in Spanish because the guy in Shanghai where I landed and had to
Uh-huh.
stay
Uh-huh.
did not speak English, but he spoke Spanish.
What?
Yo
Okay.
hablo español.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, huevos de arroz, por favor. And he looked at me and he said, también. Okay.
Is your
And so he
Spanish
made me.
good? Can you converse with the Spanish language?
My Spanish is, I understand more than I can speak.
Okay, okay. You know what how you know what to say when you want this food or you want to shop for something, but
Yeah.
never have a conversation like a full on conversation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah.
My conversation level is very beginner,
Hmm.
but my understanding level is intermediate slash advanced.
Okay. Okay.
But we we vibed that night. We had hot pot. It was good. He walked me back to the subway station,
Hmm.
and you know, this is where it could either go really, really wrong or really, really right.
Hmm.
And it went really, really right because my mom works with child protection.
Okay.
Her thing is protecting people from predators. And I was like, okay, this guy could either A, follow you home, or B, just say goodnight and wave goodbye. And so
Wait, this was after
he
dinner
is the
or going to dinner?
yeah, this
After.
is after dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait a second. You had dinner. Did you have some drinks or something? Beer? And you enjoyed each other's
We
company, right?
yeah, we had a nice little
Okay.
conversation via transfer,
Yeah.
but we don't drink alcohol.
Okay.
So there was no beers involved. Um
Was because I had this experience before, sometimes you run out of things to say and there's an awkward silence like for 5 minutes and you get tired of it like, this is gonna be really, really bad. Having a conversation using a phone up is
no,
not so fun. Yeah, but I can't imagine how we were.
we're both we're both foodies, so
Mhm.
we were enjoying the meal a little more than talking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He would present stuff to me and he goes, have you tried this? You try?
Mhm, mhm,
And so I
mhm.
would try it. And
Spicy, spicy? No
we
spicy? Mhm.
no, no, we can't have spicy because of my stomach
Oh,
issues, and
okay,
no
okay.
fish because I'm allergic. Um, so he was really respectful of my bodily needs
Uh-huh.
because I can't have spice, don't drink alcohol, I'm allergic to
You can't
fish.
have fish too.
So
What?
yeah, I have a very special diet. Um, you okay there, bud? Okay,
She
you're
okay?
okay.
Okay.
And so yeah, she's fine. Just gotta make sure she's doing her own little thing. But he walks me back to the metro and he looks at me and he goes, I really enjoyed tonight. I would like to see you again whenever you're free. And I was like, well, I'm a teacher in the middle of COVID, so I mean, I'm free whenever.
Mhm.
And he goes, okay, tomorrow I'm off of work. Do you want to go to Shinjinbei Park?
Wow.
And it's this beautiful that is close to our bay,
Mhm.
and you get to see all of the ships out in the bay. You
I've
get
been
to see
there.
the
Oh,
beautiful
Shenzhen now,
mountains.
I've never been there, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to see the beautiful mountains of Hong Kong Island where Zhuhai is, and
Mhm.
it's absolutely gorgeous in the afternoon when sun sets. And so this was like the 2nd of April, and we're strolling down Shenzhen Bay Park. We stop and we listen to this guy playing some music. Excuse you. I see how you feel about mom and dad's start of relationship, but we're just we're having a nice night.
Uh-huh.
It's probably 7 o'clock at this point, so it's dark
Mhm.
and it's a little cold. And I didn't bring a jacket. Now, I know people will say, "Oh, she planned this." No, I really didn't because I burn at a higher temperature, so I don't think I need a jacket.
Yeah.
I'm so used to being without a jacket.
You're from the
But
US,
this
it's
guy,
different, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so this guy, he's always freezing. He thoughtfully brings a jacket. And I'm sitting there and I'm shivering and he goes, "You cold?" He learned some English. And
For
so he
for
spoke English to me
whoa, just
for the first time.
for that day,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes, "You cold?" And I was like, "Yes. Yes, I'm a little cold." And so he takes his jacket off and puts it on me. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to fit this jacket. You're teeny tiny. The jacket fit.
Oh, man, that's an entire
And
conversation
I'm like,
too. The clothes in
and I
China,
just,
they're extra large and large. It looks like a medium for me. Why, these people are so tiny.
it's because East Asian body types are so tiny in proportion
Yeah.
compared to Western body.
They could have a baby, 4 babies, and they look like they're in college. Like, what? It's
Yeah.
just different.
Like, what? You mean to tell me your mom's 50 and she's not 25?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Anyway, so he gave you
but
his jacket, and did it fit?
so it fit. And I'm like, this is crazy. I think I'm falling for this guy.
Huh?
And his hands, we brush hands, and
Ugh.
I'm not a touchy person. I don't want to be touched.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But I felt okay with it. And I felt his hands were cold, but my hands always stay warm.
Uh-huh.
Yes, always stay warm. And so I said, hand me your hand. And I like held out my hand and he put his in mine and he's like, oh,
Just
your
for
hand's
that
so
reason,
warm.
because your hands brushed and he was cold, and we're like, he's probably cold, so he needs my warm hands.
Yeah.
For real?
And so
You
that
just
was the
said that you
first
were
time we
falling for
held.
the guy, so that was maybe you made the
Yeah,
first move.
technically,
Yeah.
yes. Um, and so our hands brush against each other. I get his hand, I hold it
Sounds like
because
a
it's
novel. Our
cold
hands brushed.
and it warms up. And then he, technically, I made the first move, but he finished it off.
Okay. By doing
So
what?
I'm holding his hand.
Hmm.
So I take his hand, I'm holding it, and he interlocks our fingers. And we
Okay.
go back to the metro for dinner.
Uh-huh. And
And
that was it.
so technically, yes.
Hmm.
So after dinner, he came back to my apartment. And normally I'm a very, okay, this is go home, bye.
Uh-huh.
This is it, bye. But no, I felt at ease. How do I describe this? So my native culture, I'm Native American slash Mexican slash Irish. That's all I know of my genealogy.
That's a beautiful combination.
So
Look at you. You're so pretty. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Our cultural belief is that if you can feel a person's soul
Hmm.
and you can feel the goodness or the badness, then you can judge the person on that. And I felt like his soul was good. I felt comfortable and calm in his presence. I didn't feel anxious and anxiety. I didn't feel this bad aura.
Hmm.
And so I invited him in and I served him lemon water because lemon water is really good for your immune system. If you do not drink it, start drinking it. Really good for your health.
Yeah.
Good for digestion. And the night just drags on and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
You just talked?
And I was like, oh, we just talked
Did you have
for
okay, no alcohol.
hours.
Okay. So you guys don't drink? You basically use the phone app once again for 2 hours, just sitting there,
Yeah, talking.
holding hands.
I mean, my feet were in his lap because it
Oh,
was my couch.
okay.
So,
But no kissing yet.
but no. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, I can get
I'm
a
sorry,
taxi
but
back home.
he
And I
was
was like, no.
probably hard during that time. I can't imagine somebody's feet on my lap and I like this woman. He must be like, I
I,
cannot do this anymore.
I don't. He has great self restraint. He is a very self restraining person.
Wow,
He's got
just
great.
such a sweet guy.
He's very generous and
I
very
have to be
kind.
honest. If that was
And I
me, I
look
would
at him.
have I would have reached for you or something. If you put your feet on my lap, maybe you'll get a good 1 minute before I start doing. Maybe I'll start rubbing your feet all the way up there and start
Which
kissing
is
you. That's a normal thing.
yeah.
It says a lot. A woman is flirting with you by putting her feet on your lap and you don't do anything. Isn't that supposed to turn you off? Like, am I, I'm not good enough for you? What's wrong, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you did another
And
move in your apartment. You did the first move
so
by holding his
technically,
hand, and in your apartment, you put your
technically
feet
feet on his lap. And
and got no
it's
reaction.
funny because now that I think back on it, I
Yeah.
kind of was testing limits to see what he would do
Oh, okay. Okay.
because
That makes sense. Yeah.
as, as a woman, we have to play it safe
Mhm.
because, especially in America, men give off some very bad, very, very bad vibes. Um, you just never know what their intentions are. And he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, well, let me go get a taxi and I'll go home and leave you alone for the night so you can rest." I was like, "You can
Wow,
stay
such a
here
sweet
if you want till
guy.
late
Yeah,
at night."
yeah. What
I
time
was
was
like, "It's
this?
late
What
at
time?
night." I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning this time.
There's no
At
okay.
the
Is
time,
there DD at 3
he
AM?
said,
Okay, there is. Okay.
"You you can book a DD, but my apartment also has taxis that queue out in front of it."
Uh-huh.
So he could have easily caught one of the blue taxis.
Mhm.
And I was like, "No, you can take a shower here. I've got an extra toothbrush. You can brush your teeth. And,
Aw,
I've got an extra blanket. You're
so
more than
sweet.
welcome
Yeah.
to stay here."
Mhm.
And so he stayed.
Okay.
And I've never seen a guy in his underwear before. Up until this point, I've been single for 23 years, 24 years. And
Wait a sec.
he comes out
So
and he
he
goes,
he was
"I
your
hope."
first boyfriend?
Yes.
No
He is
way.
my first.
But how did you feel
Yeah.
comfortable doing that if this guy was your first boy?
I just felt comfortable. I don't
Because
know
most women,
why.
for if that's their first time, for most women, they would freak out. They would not know what to do. Like, wow, first
Yeah.
time. Was your chest beating? So
But
so was your chest pounding so hard? Like, oh my god.
it
And did
was,
it feel like love? Like, I'm
but
in love. I really, really like this person.
no,
Not yet.
I did not feel in love. Not yet. I felt comfortable and I felt like maybe this could go somewhere,
Uh huh.
but I did not feel in love.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the first time I've ever seen a naked guy. This is the first time I've
He was
ever
on his
had a
underwear.
guy sleep.
He went to the shower, came out in his underwear.
Yeah, yeah. And he looked at me and he goes, "I hope you don't mind," obviously through a translation app. "I hope you don't mind,
Because
but I cannot sleep
I
in my
think most
clothes."
Chinese men don't wear boxers, right? They don't have boxers. They just wear underwear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "I hope you don't mind me sleeping on your couch
With my
in
underwear
my
on.
underwear
Uh huh.
because you don't have a fan or the air condition in here and it's hot."
You
And
don't
I
have
was
an air
like,
conditioning in your apartment or a fan?
"It was in my bedroom. That's the only place we have an air condition is in the bedroom."
Oh, okay. So he was on the living room because the
Yeah.
couch was there. Okay. 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 Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I said, "Well, I don't know how comfortable you would be with this, but you can sleep in my bedroom in
That's
my
the third
bed." I
move you
know
just made.
it sounds like I'm just being very suggestive with this guy.
Yeah.
But we
I
didn't do
I
anything
feel
that
like I'm a
night.
gossipy person. Let's hear some gossip. This is the first episode where it's very gossipy.
So scandalous.
Okay.
No,
Yeah. And how did he react to that?
he turned red.
Uh
His
huh.
face flushed. He was like, "What?" And so we go to lay down, and he looks at me and he goes, "I promise I won't touch you if you're
Wait a second.
uncomfortable
He
with
was
it."
still with his underwear, or did he put his clothes on back?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he just slept under his blanket in his underwear
Okay. Hmm.
right to me the whole night. We woke up cuddling each other, but nothing happened that night. No sexual activity, no kissing.
I'm a guy. When I
He
wake up
just
in the morning, I normally have a morning wood. No morning wood for this guy. Nothing. Or was he
no.
holding it back?
I don't know. I guess he just felt, at ease.
Casey, I feel like a bad
I
person
don't know
now.
what was.
I could not stand that. I could not stand sleeping beside a beautiful woman like you and not have anything. Maybe I couldn't sleep. It would be torture. I have to do something. I'm just being honest. It's oh my god, it's impossible. Maybe you're fabricating the story a little bit. No, this is all true.
No,
You did nothing.
this
No
is all true.
kissing, no holding hands, nothing. You just laid there and slept.
Yeah,
Was it easy
just
for
laid there
you
and
to
slept.
sleep like just like that? Okay, it's time for bed. Or was it weird? Like this
I
guy, I have a guy for the
I
very
can't
first time in my life.
I can't remember, honestly. I honestly cannot remember because I guess it just felt so comfortable that I was tired enough. I just fell asleep. It was nothing. So,
I can't believe. I mean, I can't imagine what is what is his what are the thoughts coming into his head? Being a guy, sleeping with this woman and pretending to be asleep, closing his eyes, please. I think he was not sleeping, you know? Morning aroused,
I
and then
don't, because the
did you
minute
do you
my
do you
head
guys
hit the
talk about
pillow,
it?
I
Do you guys talk about it, right now? I mean, this
no,
time? No. Maybe
no.
there's really guys like that, you know? There's really guys like that. Because right now I don't
He
know
gave me faith
anybody,
in the
even my close friends. I don't know anybody. Even my married friends. If you I'm sorry. They might listen to this one and their wives, they're my friends too. But I don't think Casey, you understand what I'm saying, right? It's impossible.
yeah. He gave me faith in the men. And I'm like, Chinese men are a little sketchy in my mind sometimes because they'll, especially if you're a foreign woman, you feel objectified
Mhm.
by men here because they'll look you up and down and they'll kind of,
Not everybody.
yeah,
Some of
you're
them are. Yeah.
a, it's a lot of the older men that are that way.
Yes,
The younger
absolutely.
men,
Yeah.
the younger men
The
sometimes,
younger
but
men, they're
definitely the
friendly.
older.
I've drank with them. Even my girlfriend's brother is very, very nice. She has a younger brother.
Yeah,
He's very nice, but the older man, yeah.
a lot of the a lot of the younger men are very respectful, which gives me hope in this society.
Hmm.
But the older men, I'm just, you guys need some education on how to treat a woman because what y'all are doing is not right.
Yeah.
Smacking my butt on the road in front of a CCTV camera like I'm not about to
Somebody did that
just,
to you?
charge. Yes, I have been sexually assaulted in China.
Oh, in Shenzhen. This is in Shenzhen?
Yeah, in my neighborhood, he slapped me on the butt. I called the police. They pulled the footage and they're like, "What do you want?" And I said, "Compensation. I'm broke."
Okay. And how
He ended
much
up
did you
paying
get
me
for it?
two. He he ended up paying me 2,000 RMB and a slap on his hand.
Nice.
Again. And I was like, I can go get me a
Why not ask
hamburger.
for 10? You know? And you were broke during that time, just the right timing. God is watching me. Who else wants to slap my butt?
Please don't. But it's
What?
funny because the morning that we woke up,
Uh-huh.
we were facing each other. Our noses were kind of close to each other.
Okay.
And he looked up and said, "Beautiful." That's the only word he said was beautiful.
Do
And
the accent.
so
Do the
I
accent.
blush red. Beautiful.
Oh man, you got it. You got it.
Beautiful.
That's how they say
And
it. Yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my blush is red.
Uh-huh.
And so I need to go brush my teeth in English. Like I say it out loud, like this
Yeah,
man's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
understand me. He doesn't speak a lick of English.
Mhm.
And so I
Did
go,
it
I
he
need to
didn't
go
say,
brush my teeth. And he goes,
brush teeth? Really?
no.
Chinese people do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Chinese people don't do that.
You know, he didn't say
I'm
anything.
joking. I'm joking. Yeah, yeah.
He this man may be Chinese, but his demeanor, his methods, what he does is definitely not Chinese.
Hmm.
He is a conundrum in himself. So I go and I brush my teeth, and then he goes, "I will leave you." He's already typed it out. "I will leave you here so you can get dressed, and I will go get dressed in the bathroom and brush my teeth and take care of some personal care." And I said, "Okay, cool." By the time he gets out, I'm dressed. I'm ready to,
Hmm. Hmm.
just chill at my house. And he looks at me and he goes, now this is where he makes a move.
Okay.
Okay. This is a really big one. He looks at me and he goes, do you want to go with me to Huizhou tomorrow?
Man,
I
he's
was
this.
like,
You know what? I thought he was gonna do something sexual. You know,
no.
maybe kiss you. Do you want to go somewhere?
Our
And
love,
he's asking you out. While this is the best place for me to
yeah,
do something with you because we're alone. It's private. Okay. Anyway, I'm an asshole.
yeah.
Okay.
Our love story, I swear, could be a movie because it
It
sounds like
feels like a
Korean
movie.
drama.
Yeah. 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 It feels
It
that way.
honestly does.
So
And he's
he
like, "Do you
asked
want
you
to
to
go to
go where? Hangzhou,
Huizhou with the
Huizhou. I've
Hui,
heard of that.
Huizhou, which is about an hour, almost 2 hours
Uh huh.
past uh Yantian. So you
Mhm.
go out to like Damesha and places like that in
Mhm.
Shenzhen, and you head on over to Huizhou. We went to a place called Green Park. And it's this green lake that has all of these beautiful traditional Chinese
Aren't they all
houses.
like that? Everywhere you go.
Uh, But it was
But it's beautiful.
like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I'm a Chinese historian, so this is
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never seen something like this.
Mhm.
So it was gorgeous. I've never seen a pagoda because I was working my tail off. I never had time to actually go and visit history.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I'm looking at this place, and he books a hotel for us, and we're staying there for 2 nights.
Okay.
You would think, first night something would happen. No, he's respectful and he sleeps on the couch
For
in the
two
hotel
nights.
room and gives me the bed. Not for 2 nights.
Uh huh. Just for that night.
This is just for the first night.
Okay.
So the first day we get there, we kind of tour around the shopping area, look at things. I buy a couple of souvenirs for my friends and whatnot. They've never been to Huizhou, so might as well,
Mhm.
buy some souvenirs for some friends. Now that my company has actually paid me the stuff that they owe me, because, you know, we're getting ready to go back to work, gotta have money to travel, right?
Yeah.
Well, the first night he sleeps on the couch. We're exhausted. We've been walking around all day.
Mhm.
Second day, we go and we visit Green Lake.
Yeah.
I'm having the time of my life looking at the beauty of this place. There's women in Hanfu. They're taking pictures. They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous because they're really, really pretty. And I'm like, I wish I looked like that.
You're pretty.
But I'm talking about in Hanfu. Like, I wish I could look that good in Hanfu. Like, I'm a big girl. I have big hips, big waist. I'm
Mhm.
very curvy. And we're walking past all of these old men. He's holding my hand. It's cute little flirting back and forth.
Yeah.
And all of
Yeah.
these old men are like, "Don't go Rin. Why go Rin?
Good job.
How done?"
You make
And one,
you make her name proud.
that's basically the way they were reacting.
Yeah.
And this one guy, he goes, "Yes. You want a
And
foreign
of course you were
sister."
flattered too, right? Because you like this guy.
I was very flattered because they were like cheering him on. I'm like, oh my gosh, stop.
Yeah.
And so at the lake, this is when the first, I guess you would call it, steamy moment happens,
At the
because the
lake.
sun's setting. At the lake, the
Uh-huh.
sun is setting.
Mhm.
It's romantic.
Mhm.
You know, it's very picturesque.
Mhm.
There's a pagoda in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
This, like, the whole entire sky is this beautiful gradient, starting with like dark blue, going
Nice.
down
I
to
mean,
purple, pink,
I'm creating a mental picture. Yes. Yeah.
yellow, down to orange, and then to black on the
Yeah. Yeah.
bottom.
Uh-huh.
And he, I'm sitting there looking at it. He's gone off to buy some water because
Uh-huh.
we're thirsty.
Yeah.
And the water, he's got this little bag that he's carrying
Mhm.
that has all of, you know, the items that he would need. He's a smoker, so he smokes cigarettes.
Oh,
It's got his cigarettes,
was
his
that a deal breaker?
stuff like that.
He probably during this time of walking, he was probably puffing cigarettes, right? Throwing cigarettes because I've seen Chinese people smoke and they
Yeah,
smoke like crazy. Like it's
I'm
food.
fine with it. My mom's a smoker,
Oh, okay.
so um, he's messaging me good night. He's currently in his hometown, so he's dealing with
Hmm.
some stuff.
Wait a second.
But
Let me
he
just
comes
cut you
up behind
off a little bit. So, but right now,
uh,
at least he speaks English a little bit better, right? He lives with you, so
yes, he
okay.
knows. Yes,
Yeah,
um, he's learning English and I'm learning Chinese. Obviously, that's how
yeah.
you know yoke each other.
Hmm.
But he comes up behind me and puts his hand on my lower back.
Okay.
The lower back for a woman is a very key place. If you touch it before she's comfortable with you, you're creepy. If you miss your chance to touch it at the
Lower
appropriate
back.
time,
On the middle, left or right?
yeah,
Middle?
like right above,
The butt?
the butt crack.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, it's like right
I'm learning.
where that
Okay.
like here's the spine
Yeah, and right there.
and here's the
Oh,
lower
right
back.
here. Okay.
Where that curve is, the lower back. He comes and touches that spot on my back.
Uh huh.
Now, remember, I'm not a touchy person.
Uh huh.
So if I wasn't comfortable with him, I would have scooted away. I stayed.
Hmm.
So I turned and looked at him. He's like this close to my face. I'm like, oh, hi. And he goes, you're really pretty. And I would love to see you. He's typed it out and he's showing me the picture while he's cuddling up closer to me.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, I would love to see you more and more. Can we make this official and will you be my girlfriend?
Whoa. Okay.
Speechless. I'm speechless at this point, and I was like, "Are you DTRing? Is this defining the relate? I've never had that. This is what my friends are talking about. Oh my gosh, all of these thoughts are
Wait a
popping
second. How
in my
did
head.
you feel when you read that?
Overwhelmed.
Okay.
I was like, "Am I about to score my first boyfriend? Is this my first relationship? Is this actually happening?"
Turns out it was
And
your
I was
husband.
like,
Yeah.
and I looked at him and I said, "Shuda," which means yes in Chinese.
Hmm.
And right as the sun was going down and it was about to get pitch black, he kisses me
Uh
for the
huh.
very first time. And it's not this over exaggerated, you know, like, I'm desperate for you, I must have you
It's
kiss.
just a kiss, like,
It's gentle. It was a little longer than just a kiss.
uh,
It was a moment,
no tongue,
is what it was.
just lips.
There was no tongue,
Uh huh.
but it was a moment. And he
That was your
squeezes me
first kiss too,
in.
right? No, not really.
Yeah, it was my first kiss.
What?
Yes,
At age 24, that was your first kiss,
yes.
dude. For
He
real?
later took my virginity
That night?
yeah. It took all of no, it took him almost a week
Yeah.
to sleep with me. And so, if any advice for anybody
Mm-hmm.
is to wait until you feel completely comfortable with a person
Yeah.
before you sleep with them. Because even though our relationship progressed so fast,
Yeah.
it felt right. Everything felt right. It felt good.
Mm-hmm.
I felt prepared. I felt respected. I felt loved. I felt all of these things in such a small, short of span of time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because I felt comfortable with him that I was okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my mother, oh my goodness, this woman has visions of everything. The next morning, she messaged me and she goes, "You've lost your virginity." And I was like, "What? No, I didn't."
The next morning,
No, the next morning.
and you never brought up a conversation about this guy, right? She doesn't know anything.
She knew nothing about him.
And the next morning, she texted you and told you that you lost your virginity.
Ne-
Are
yes,
you for
the
real?
next morning she
This sounds too good to be
yes.
true. Like it's a perfect written story. Perfectly written story.
I know. No, but it's true.
What? The
It's
next morning, right
100%
after you lost your virginity, your
yeah.
mom, it's like a script, really. For real. It can't
But
be that.
because I've never,
Really?
no, it's true. It's true. But
Wow.
because I've never lied to her,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
this was my lying to her. And I was like, no, I didn't.
Okay.
I I I
And she
do have
probably
this
knew
guy that I'm
and
seeing.
she probably knew you were lying. Maybe she felt that.
Oh, as a mother
Yeah.
now, I could probably tell she knew I was lying. She was just going with the flow and, hey, I believe you. Sure, sure.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, no, I didn't sleep with anybody. I haven't done anything, but I do have this guy that I'm seeing. He's now my boyfriend. We've been going out for about a week now, and she goes, "Don't you think that's a little too soon?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel comfortable with him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel happy. I don't feel alone. I feel safe. And she goes, and she does, because we're Skyping, she does, okay, mija, whatever you say. Uh,
That's
okay,
so sweet.
mother.
Yeah.
And so about 2 months into our relationship,
You had a baby. You got pregnant.
uh, we go on a trip
Okay.
to see of his in his hometown to get married.
Oh.
All throughout that trip, I was very nauseated. Did not feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly throw.
Mm-hmm. I can
I was
imagine.
irritable. I didn't want to eat anything.
Because of your
I
thing,
was
right?
tired.
Your gas, blah, blah. I can't remember the term. No?
No, it wasn't because of that.
You just woke up that way?
We get back. Yeah, I woke up and the minute I woke up, I would throw up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if a woman hears this, she's going to be listening to this story and go, she's pregnant. And they would be right.
Oh, okay. See,
During that whole
I
entire wedding,
that should be part of my train of thought. Like she was pregnant, but no, I didn't think it like
yeah,
that. I was thinking, okay. Hmm.
yeah. So I'm sick all throughout this
You know
trip
what I
to
was
his
thinking?
hometown.
I was thinking that you felt that way because you were going to a wedding and you don't want to see somebody get married because he was probably going to ask you to get married. That's what I had in my head. But no, you were pregnant.
Yeah, I, I could see where that would pop up too,
Yeah.
but neither of us had a clue. He had some sort of inkling though,
Hmm.
and so what he would do about 2 weeks afterwards is come to me and say, "Babe, I think you need to take a pregnancy test." And I was like, "What? No way. There's no way I'm pregnant.
Hmm.
I can't get pregnant." At least I
Did you
thought I
guys use
couldn't get
protection
pregnant
when you're
doing.
doing it? No.
No,
No. Having protection's
because it was a spur.
terrible. It's just terrible sex.
It was a spur of the moment thing. We didn't think about it in the
Uh-huh.
moment.
And it's your first time too, so probably you were aggressive as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all of that sexual frustration's coming out.
Mhm.
Are you okay, Pumpkin?
Is she asleep? She's still awake?
She's in between. She's asleep.
You have a beautiful daughter, by the way.
She's
I know people say that all the time when somebody has a baby, but for real, you have a beautiful daughter.
no.
And when we were talking, and I would just look at her when she was there, she was very curious too.
Yeah.
What's her
She's
name?
she's getting into that. Huangjia.
Which means
Her
what?
dad's surname is Huang. So Huang means yellow,
Uh huh.
and Jia I think is like something powerful. I can't remember what it
Are
means.
you
I would
gonna
have
give
to
her an
ask my
English name?
husband. So she has an unwritten English name, Wimberly.
Wimberly, which means what?
I don't know what it means. I just think it's pretty.
Sounds unique. I'll use that.
Yeah. I got it out of the book.
Wimberly.
Hmm. But we found out I was pregnant
Mm-hmm.
on July the 1st of 2021.
COVID.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, not July the 1st, 2021. July the 1st of 2020. And
Yeah, last year.
I went back to work.
Oh no,
Yeah, I went back to work in
2021.
2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah, because she's 6 months old. There's no way I could have found out that I was pregnant in 2021.
Okay.
I mean, I technically could, but um, so I'm hiding this from my company.
Mm-hmm.
The first person I break it to is my mom. So I
Uh-huh.
call my mom and I'm like, "Hey, mom, some news," and she goes, "You're pregnant." I was like, "What?
Again?
How do you know?" My mom, I'm telling you, this woman has like
She's psychic.
she's a,
Yeah.
she goes, "You're," and I go, "How do you know?" And she goes, "I feel it in my bones. I feel it. You're pregnant. Tell me you're pregnant." And I was like, I'm pregnant." And she goes, "Ay, Dios mío, my youngest is giving me a grandchild.
She was
Glory be."
happy. She was
And
happy.
she was excited.
Uh-huh.
She was like, "I'm gonna be a grandmother. My baby's having a baby. I'm so excited. I can't wait."
Wow.
And she was
Nice.
just
Uh-huh.
overjoyed. And
Uh-huh.
here I am, 24,
Scared, probably, right?
scared out of my mind.
And
I've
you were
only been
probably
living
thinking
this.
about your career too, right? Because finally you were going
Yeah,
back to work, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one second.
It's okay, it's okay.
You got a booger. Here. It's okay, baby. Drink up.
Wait a second. Let me just
I've
reply
only
to
been
you.
with this. Oh, that's fine. I'm very popular tonight, apparently. Where did all of these messages come from?
From where? From WeChat?
Yeah.
Ako isend.
What's wrong, Conky? I can't really do anything if you're not near me. Did you poop?
Okay.
Ooh,
Wait, she pooped?
you pooped.
Oh, do you need to
It's okay.
go get something?
Just some wipes.
Okay, go
Wait one
ahead.
second.
Yeah.
Where did I put your wipe?